Hello again, everybody. This is Michael, KE4EST, and we're back here in part 2 of the comprehensive guide on the Amiko Mini HD RE. Okay, here we are. We're picked back up where we left off in part 1. If you didn't watch part 1, you need to go back and find part 1, watch it, where we go through getting everything set up, and now we're ready to blind scan. So if you look over on the right hand side of the screen, you're going to see some stuff over there, like you'll see single scan, transponder edit, etc. If you look beside that, like the single scan, you'll see red, the other one green. If you look at the bottom of your remote, you're going to see the colored buttons on the bottom of the remote. So look down there, look at them. Okay, so that's going to correspond. Now you see on the screen there it says blind scan. Now if you just hit the white button, hit blind scan, which is fine, it's going to jump right into a blind scan, and it's going to take off and do everything on this satellite. But if you want to pick and choose a little bit, you can hit the red button on the remote, and now this gives you a little bit of choice. You can hit free or all. All is everything, and that's one I like to do, because sometimes even though it might scan in as scrambled, you'll find out it's not scrambled, it was flagged wrong at the uplink. And then there's TV and radio. There's plenty of radio channels on there, as well as TV also. And I usually just leave it at both on that too, even though most of the time my viewing habits is TV only. I do find a radio channel once in a while to watch, and that's just plain radio. It's not like something, if you're familiar with, say, like some of the stuff on Dish Network or DirecTV, where you go in, you watch it, and it's got some music channels with music playing, and then there's floating around the screen is the thing with the artist and all that stuff. These are just strictly radio channels only, like, you know, standard radio, no video at all. And then here you got the scan type is manual, which we won't be using right now because we have nothing scanned in. And we have blind scan, so that's what we want to do, is blind scan. And there's another option later in another video I'll do on, you can get a little more detailed, where you can select if you want to do horizontal or vertical only or whatever. But anyway, we come down here and we'll just hit OK to search. It's going to go through now, especially if you're new to this. What it's going to do is look at a range of frequencies. In this particular case, it's going to look from 11,700, you know, like 11.7 gigahertz up to 12.2 gigahertz. And it's going to sit there, and it's a detailed. Some receivers let you go through and set up a different thing. This one's a detailed. So it's going to go through 11,701, 11,702, all the way through 12,200. And I ain't going to bore you with all this. I'll skip this part. And when this is finished, I'll come back. Okay, right here we are halfway through. And what's happened is it's went through, like most receivers, it's went through all the horizontal transponders from 0 to 50%. And now it's jumped to the vertical. And there's not a whole lot on this satellite, so it's looking through, and it's going to keep checking and checking and checking, and ain't seeing anything. But it's doing, you know, it's working in the background there. It don't scan through and show the frequencies that's going on, but it is working on this. But right now and I think there's only one more, unless there's a wild feed or something up there right now. And it's the 12180. But it's going through, and it'll catch that here in just a minute. And it got it, and it's going to save the data and be done. Alright, here we're done now. So we're done, we've got it, we're brought up here. So if you hit menu on the remote, it's just going to take you back one menu screen. Hit menu again, another menu screen. And see, I can hit OK button from here and go back to where I was at. But if we hit exit, it's just going to take us out and take us to watching TV. And that's what it's done here, watching TV. Now if you want to see everything that's on here, if you hit the OK button, it's going to come up right here. Now if you've got several things scanned in, if you look at the top left there, you'll see it says group all satellites, or all satellite. It's went through and it's going to have a whole lot more stuff here on the screen. Right now we've scanned as one satellite, so right now we just got these 13 channels here scanned in. And so if that happens, when you get a whole lot more stuff going on, you're like, man, I see all this stuff and I'm trying to scroll through. You'll be able to scroll left and right too, you know, instead of just back and forth here like this, and see all that stuff. And I'm like, what just scanned in exactly? Of course, you can look at the bottom left and you see 125 West AMC 21K, but it gets a little confusing. If you hit the red button, you look down, it says group, and come down to satellite, and then as you get more and more stuff in here, you'll see a list of satellites here. There's more and more stuff scanned in. And if you just pick the 125, which right now it's the only choice we got. Now if you look at the top, notice it says group 125 West, and that's all you're going to see. That way you can say, okay, let's see what's on there. So you can look through these, and you can get on satellite forums, free-to-air forums like Satellite Guys and some of the other ones, and you can get on like sathint.com and linksat.com. I start saying it was .net, but you can go through those and kind of figure out what some of this stuff is. You know, if it's not a wild feed. Now if it's a wild feed, it just comes and goes. It's there for a few minutes or an hour or two and it's gone, you know. But if it's something that's there all the time, a lot of times stuff will scan in, like this Montana PBS. It's named, but a lot of stuff, and this over here, this is Create TV from PBS Mucks, and this is PBS World. But what is this? What is this? You know, now I know from doing this for years and stuff, and, you know, and watching this stuff, that HD01 is PBS East. I know this next one down here is West. I know that this one right here is PBS Kids. But if you want to set this up so you can, instead of having to look it up every time and scratch your head for a minute going, what was that? Or if you don't like this here, over here where it says SD02 Create, and you just want to say Create or Create TV, let me show you how to do that. Let's hit exit here. If we go back to the menu and go over here to Service, and then you'll see Organizing Services and Organizing Favorites. If you go to Organizing Services, and then let's go up here and let's find like this HD01. Okay, let's highlight that, which I've got it highlighted here. Now let's hit the right arrow button. We'll come over here. And I say it's my favorite channel to watch on this satellite. I can hit move. And then I can move this. See, it's in gray. Say it's the number 1 slot. If you'll notice that HD01, I'm moving it back down. It's moving around. Now it's number 1. I hit OK button. It sticks it up there, so I'm number 1. Okay. Other things you can do here, you can lock it out, you can delete it. Right here's rename. Just click on that. This is going to come up, and let's go over here. This is a space bar. This is a backspace. And if you need other stuff, or if you don't want all caps, you just keep hitting the up and down arrow. So I'm back to caps. Go down here and then hit down again. You're going lowercase. You got numbers. You got different symbols and stuff. Let's get back up here, and we'll call this PBS. Okay. Oh, wait. Let's backspace all this out first. Okay, now we're blank. Alright, PBS. Now P, B, S. And then I'm going to hit a space here. Of course, you don't have to. It's your preference. E. You could stop there if you wanted to. I'm going to go down here and make it lowercase now. And say East. E-S-T. Okay. Hit OK. Now it says PBS East. Now you can go through and do the other ones if you want to, you know, whatever, but we'll just do this one now for this example now. Now you don't want to hit exit. You want to hit, even though I think it'll actually still work if you hit exit. I think either one will work. But let's hit menu, and it's going to say, are you sure you want to save? If you say no right here, go over here to no and hit OK. It's just going to go back to the HDL1. It's going to put it back down in the list wherever it was at. We say yes. Now let's hit exit and skip back here. Now let's hit the OK button again and bring up the list. You'll see the PBS East now is in slot number 1, and it's no longer called HD01, it's called PBS East. So that's a little tip there for you. For that, one other thing I want to show you here in part 2 is if you go, let's bring this back. If you hit the info button, there's an info button on the remote, and if you look above where you're usually working at around the OK button and the arrow keys, look right up to the right of the arrow keys, and you'll see a button that says info. If you hit the info button, it's just going to bring up this banner here. And if you just don't do anything, in 5 seconds it'll go away. Now you can go in and change that. We may go in later in another part and show you how to change different things like that. But if you hit info, and before it disappears, this banner, hit info again, it's going to bring up this. Now normally, if like you're in some other countries and stuff in Europe or whatever, this would be your guide. Like if you're familiar with Dish Network or DirecTV or digital cable and stuff like that, that's going to be your guide. It's going to tell you about this show and what's playing and when it started and ended and all that stuff. But since the majority of channels in North America ain't going to have that, here free to air is mainly a hobby, so you're not going to see that most of the time. But what I want to show you is if you look down here, it says red, the little red square says information. If you'll hit the red, this will bring up this right here. I've had people ask me that, how do I get to look at, because somebody said such and such was audio PID was this and the video PID was that or whatever. This right here will tell you, plus some other stuff. It'll also show your quality. They also show you what satellite you're on, what your LNB frequency is set up to, the local oscillator, which is 10750, and all this stuff. So they'll show you some more information about it. So then anything, like I said again, you said exit, and you're back to here. If you exit again, like if you want that, excuse me, you hit info, that's up, and you want to get rid of it quicker for whatever reason, you hit exit. You can get rid of that. But anyway, we'll go ahead and end part 2 right here, and in part 3 we'll go over some stuff about setting up, where you go in to your system, and there's ways to go in here and set up some stuff, or make backups of your channels, save some things, things like that. So we'll do that in part 3. But for now, this is the end of this part of the series on the Amiko Mini HD SE. And thanks for watching. I hope this helped someone out. And if you liked it, hit that like button down there. And don't forget to stop just a second and hit that subscribe button down there. If you like this video, want to see more videos like this and videos about free to air and amateur radio and electronics and stuff like that, it's what this channel's about. So just hit that subscribe button. It really helps out a lot. And until next time, this is Michael, KE4EST. 73, everybody.